Lesson 78, product of square roots. If we have the square root of x squared, that equals the square root of x times x, and here's our product of two, like a pair of x's, so it's going to equal x. If we have two square roots multiplied together, we can times them underneath the square root. So it's the square root of a times b. So here's an example, the first example. The square root of 81 times the square root of 16. If you multiplied those together, you'd get the square root of 1,296. That's going to equal 36. You could also take the square root of 81, which is 9, times it by the square root of 16, which is 4, and 9 times 4 is also 36. So we can do it either way. Here's another example. We have 4 times the square root of 6 times the square root of 15. What I would do is I would say that's equal to the square root of 6 times 15. Then I'm going to find the prime factors of each of these numbers. 6 is 2 times 3, and 15 is 3 times 5. So I'm going to list out 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. I've got a pair right here, so a 3 can come out. So we have 4 times 3 on the outside. So we have 12 square roots of, and inside was 2 and 5 multiplied is 10. So 4 square roots of 6 times the square root of 15 is equal to 12 square roots of 10. Here's an example where we're going to have to know how to multiply square roots. If you're given 4 points of a rectangle, and asked to find the area. Let's say our points are 0, 4, so graph 0, 4, and label the point. Then graph 2, 2. We're going to graph negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. Label the point. And the last one, negative 3, 1. This is a rectangle that is kind of crooked. So we can't find the length and width without using Pythagorean theorem. We've got to find our the length of the sides by using Pythagorean theorem. So we could pretend that this is a hypotenuse of a right triangle. So the base of this right triangle would be 1, 2, 3, and the height would be 1, 2, 3. So if we did a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we would have 3 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. 9 plus 9, c squared. So c squared is 18, and if we want c, we take the square root of 18. So the length of the rectangle, I'm going to write it on the other side, is the square root of 18. To find the width, let's do the right triangle here. So the length is 2, and the height is, 1, 2. So to find the width, we're going to do 2 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. 4 plus 4 is c squared. So since 8 is c squared, c is the square root of 8. So we're going to put that over here, square root of 8. It said in the problem that's a rectangle. So we just have to do square root of 18 times the square root of 8. So the area equals the square root of 18 times the square root of 8. we can take out perfect squares. Square root of 18 is the square root of 9 times the square root of 2. Square root of 8 is the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. So the square root of 9 is 3, the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 2 times 2, or 4. But that's 2. So we have 3 times 2 times 2, which is 12 units squared. So the area of this rectangle is 12 units squared. Whenever you have a rectangle like this that's tilted, you have to find the length and the width by using the Pythagorean theorem. You might have a square root as a length or width. Then to find the area, you're going to multiply those two. And you have to know this product of square roots rule in order to do that. And that's the end of the lesson.